friends. Welcome back to Social Studies. We have been talking about fables. The last lesson we heard the story of the dog in the manger. And we knew that the story was a fable because, one, the animals talk. So they gave them characteristics of a person, and that's called personification. So the animals were personified. They could talk. We know that animals really can't talk. Another characteristic of a fable is that it's a short story. These have all been pretty quick and short. Another one is it teaches you a lesson or a moral, okay? So in today's, we're gonna listen for all three of the characteristics of a fable, and we're also gonna have some more personification. Remember, that's when an animal has a like a person or characteristics like a person. They can talk, they wear clothes, things like that. So I'm gonna show you, let's see. There we go. I'm going to show you this. Okay, this is our picture for today, and I want you to look at it. And what do you notice? What do you wonder? Okay, I want you to make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen in this story today? What do you think that wolf is going to do? If you didn't notice, look, there's a wolf right here. Okay, what do you think the wolf is going to do in today's story? Okay, I want you to listen and find out whether your came true. But first, let's talk about our vocabulary words. So I'm going to go back to here. Disguise, an outfit that helps to change your appearance or hide who you really are. We did not recognize Sam because of the glasses and the wig he used as a disguise. Fleece, a sheep's coat of wool. The sheep farmer carried the fleece to market. Flock, a group of animals or birds. Judy could hear a flock of geese flying over her house. Pretend, to try to be or to act differently than what you actually are. I think it's fun to pretend to be different characters that I have read about in books. And our last word is prowled, walked or moved around quietly in search of prey to eat. The new kitten prowled underneath the birdcage. Let's listen carefully and see if your prediction is true about what the wolf is going to do. Night after night, a wolf prowled around a flock or a group of sheep, looking for one of them to eat. But the shepherd and his dogs always chased him away. So the wolf prowled or walked silently around looking for food. But one day, the wolf found the skin of a sheep that had been thrown aside. He pulled the skin carefully over him so that none of his fur showed under the white fleece. Then he strolled among the flock in this disguise. So he no longer looks like a wolf. Now he looks just like another sheep. What do you think that wolf's going to do? Let's keep reading and find out. The shepherd, thinking that the wolf was one of his sheep, allowed the wolf to graze on the lush grass in the pasture and even let him sleep in the warm barn with the sheep. For many days and nights, the wolf ate and slept better than he ever had. But one day, the shepherd decided to sell one of his flock at the market. He chose the biggest, fattest sheep he could find and brought him into town. Can you guess who it was? It was the wolf. The moral: things are not always as they seem. And if you pretend to be what you are not, you might end up losing in the end. Okay, so let's talk about that moral. What does that mean? If you pretend to be something that you're not, you might end up losing in the end. So the wolf pretended he was a sheep. He was eating really good. He was eating the sheep. It made him really good and fat. And then the shepherd decided he was going to take the fattest sheep to the market. Well, he ended up sending the wolf. So he was pretending to be a sheep, but he ended up losing in the end, didn't he? All right, so let's talk about our questions. So did your prediction come true? Did you think the wolf was going to eat the sheep? I don't know. All right, so at the beginning of the fable, why does the wolf disguise himself? He wants to catch the sheep and they don't notice him, so he disguises himself. So he does it to catch sheep. without them realizing it. Does the wolf's plan work? It does for a little bit, but later the wolf was killed. He was taken to the market because he was disguised as the sheep, and he thinks he's the fattest sheep. All right, does the illustration, the picture in our story here, show the beginning, middle, or end of the fable? And how do you know that? It's showing the middle when the wolf is disguised as the sheep. And we know that because he's got the fleece on his body. Do you think this is a true story? No. Could a wolf really put on fleece from a sheep so he can pretend to be a sheep? No, it's fiction. What is the lesson or the moral of this fable? Things are not always as they seem. And if you pretend to be what you are not, you might get caught. All right. What does the wolf's disguise have to do with the moral of the lesson or the fable? He pretends to be a sheep and he ends up getting sold to the market, doesn't he? All right. And how does this wolf in the fable act like a person? Dresses up in a disguise. How does he act like a wolf or an animal? He's still eating the sheep and he prowls around, doesn't he? All right, friends, I want you to go into your Google Classroom. I want you to go answer all your questions, turn them into me, and then we will see you guys on the next lesson, which we talk about a fox. So I'll see you guys next time.